Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope all is well, and welcome back to the ShabinLife. You know, Dana and I have shot this intro a couple times already, and for some reason, each time we shoot it, all I think about is when we'd watch Al from Lumna Acres years ago walk out of his basement door every morning and say, "Good morning, modern steaders." I often wonder how many times he's actually said that, or if he has to shoot an intro 50 times and what it's like saying good morning modern steaders every time. But just made me giggle a little bit. Anyway, Dana and I posted a video yesterday or the day before that was the installing the oven and changing over from natural gas to propane and kind of finish tying in the tanks. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and check it out. But we mentioned in that video about starting to clear our future garden. This is something that we've thought about for over 10 years. Before we had property, we just dreamed of having, the space to put in something huge and be able to try and grow, 75% of what we were eating. And it's crazy that we're actually here now and it's started. Not only do we have the property, but, we're actually starting to clear for the future garden. With that being said, I mentioned in the other video that my buddy Harley dropped his excavator off about a week or so ago. And I swear, since he dropped that off, Dana and I have been going nuggets to the wall, going crazy down there, trying to get stuff accomplished while we have some half decent weather. And we're so excited to show you kind of where we are right now with what we're doing as far as, what we've got cleared and, dropping trees and bucking up wood, all that kind of stuff. But it was really important to both of us to document this. And I'm not going to lie, I feel as though I haven't done the best job in the last week or so. Sometimes I just kind of get rolling on the machine and 2 hours later I forget to even put the camera up and start videoing, or I put the camera in a weird spot and I wind up moving away from it 20 minutes later, so it's not even capturing what we're doing anymore. So sort of in an effort, not only for you guys, but for us to have it documented the way we wanted and to be able to go back years from now and just watch this thing go from a forest into a food forest. We're going to try and go back and show you guys the progression. So while I head out to get some diesel for the excavator, let's go back to sometime in 2017 when we got the property, and then Dana and I will meet you back here, present day. That's the house, basically where I didn't mow. That's the Shabin over there. And again, you kind of get a little bit of a lay of land. This area up here is a bit nuts too. I mean, there's a tons of rocks and big stumps and stuff. I think I called it Stump City when we first did it. So this was the first time I think I brush cut all of this at the same time, and it was a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. But all of this in here will get cleared, and like I said, here's the house. These trees will come down too. It always sucks to take trees down, but there's no shortage of them here, so I think we'll be okay. That's the house. It's 28 by 40. Just a ranch with attic trusses on one side and cathedral on another. Nice and easy. It'll have like an 8 or 10 foot deck that wraps all the way around and then around that side. And then there'll be a building up there that houses a cistern that holds the water runoff, pumps it into the house, along with all the solar equipment. And at first we were going to mount solar on this side, but so much of this is coming down, and we're putting the idea is to put a nice sized workshop up here, that we think we may actually put the solar on the workshop and keep everything on this side a little less exposed, you know, to everything from the street front, and it makes it easier for me to run because all of the electric in the house is on this side, the service panel, all the, you know, charge controller and inverter and, you know, generator battery backups and stuff is all on this side. So if we don't have to trench all the way over, you know, if we don't have to trench all the way over this side, it might make it a little bit easier, but we'll sort of see. Like I said earlier, in theory everything sounds awesome. In reality, totally changed. But all down here, you know, probably somewhere back in this general area, all the way back, all the way over and up will be gardens. It's hard to see it now, but I can picture it. I really can. And it's nice and flat back there. And all it really is rocks, saplings, and brush. There's nothing really massive tree-wise back there, so it shouldn't be too difficult. You know, maybe by the time we start to do all that kind of work, if I have a tractor, it might make it a little bit easier than having a hand brush cut a lot of that stuff. But yeah. I know I'm just... house. But we'll take you down and kind of show you where the garden's going to go. If you can picture being down there, I picture when I look at there like a Joe Lample garden on steroids. We'll take you down. All right, guys, so I can't really see because of the sun, so hopefully I'm getting a good shot. But, you know, I'll turn and kind of show you. Here's the house. You know, there'll be a deck that comes out here and goes around the side of the house. So the idea is that, you know, this is our sweet spot looking down here. When you go back into our land this way, there's definitely some usable space, but then it gets into, you know, typical, you know, North Pennsylvania where it's rocky and there's a lot of elevation changes, and it's great for hunting, but it's not exactly the best. It's not exactly the best for,
gardening.
For, you know, gardening, orchards, all that kind of stuff. Not too flat. So this big brush pile will obviously go away, but we're going to continue to add to it. This big tree behind it has to come down. But the idea, if you can see, is obviously we have this lot cleared, you know, all the way over to this little line. That will continue all the way down.
You can finally get an idea of the size.
Yeah, I guess you can see a little bit of the size, and it goes back quite far, actually. But the idea is that it's going to run down and it'll go back into the woods, let's say another 100 feet or so, and then it comes all the way across past this big tree, and then it comes up the side, and it basically finishes on the left-hand side of this pile. So it basically is going to end up being maybe around 150, maybe a little bit bigger, and that will ultimately be the garden. It's been a little bit of a unique winter, but looks like things are starting to come to an end here. Got some snow melting off from the last storm. It's kind of like a back-to-back storm of like 5 to 8 inches and 5 to 8 inches, a couple days apart. It'll be nice when it sort of all melts away so I can start working again. But it's an exciting day for us today. My buddy Harley is moving his excavator over here so that Dana and I can use it for a little while to get some of these larger jobs done before the summer gets here. One of which is the accessory building base, which is huge. That's kind of what's holding us up getting into the house. The other one is the garden, which I've only spent like the last 10 years dreaming about. So I'm very excited. A lot's gonna happen over the next couple weeks, so stick around. The excavator should be here in a few minutes. Sorry I didn't pull the camera out to show the guys unloading the excavator, and Harley kind of giving me a run through as to how to use it. But it's here. Yeah. All right, so I just started pulling up some of the stumps so that I can kind of get a feel for the machine. I still look like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I figured I'd videotape a little bit of it anyway. Crazy, right? All right, now that I'm back, let's take a walk down and see where things are at today. I know it doesn't seem like much still, but the accessory building base has actually come a long way. We actually pushed it out another 3 or 4 feet. We did get some of the extra boulders that we pulled out from the trees we were digging, so although it looks a bit disheveled, we feel like this will actually come together fairly quickly, but we'll walk down to the garden. That's pretty crazy, right? I mean, we've come a long way, and you know, hopefully that little progression or before and after that we were able to squeeze in here kind of shows you guys, you know, how massive of a change it's been outside. There's still a ton to do down here, but we're making serious headway. We'll walk you guys down to the garden and kind of give you an idea of what's going on. In order for Dana and I to kind of keep moving forward with what has to happen next, I don't know if I'd already shown you, but we dropped a big maple tree that was over on the right-hand side. We dropped that a couple days ago so that we could still keep excavating on that side. Now we're actually going to have to cut back another like 6 or 8 feet in order to grade the property down into the flat area where the garden will be. But in order to do that, that tree had to be basically taken care of. So yesterday, Dana and I went crazy, and we basically got to what you see right here yesterday. So if I have some video, I'll drop it in, but we're going to spend a little bit of the morning basically picking up all these rounds. We made some open areas on the driveway where we can start bringing up some wood, and that'll be where we kind of process everything for the meantime until we kind of get things set up. So we're going to spend a lot of time, I think, this morning picking up all this crap and getting it out of here so that I can actually bring the excavator in and cut a little bit more on this far right side. But we'll walk down, and maybe Dana can kind of walk you guys around, and you can see the scope of things, and maybe we can give you a heads up on what's going on. I don't know if you guys remember that big slash pile that was here too, but it's finally gone. I know we mentioned it in the last video, but I know we don't have a ton of footage to show you guys of that burning because, again, it actually took a lot more effort to get that thing started. So we were running out of, film before we could actually even get the thing up in flames. But the pile's gone now. We were able to kind of grade the rest of the stuff down the end of the hill. Some of that stuff that's at the bottom, we're actually going to pile back up and have another little burn. But we spent yesterday, like I said, chipping up all that tree canopy and bucking up all the wood over here. Dana basically spent all day chipping. So we're going to use these wood chips to kind of spread out, make the ground a little bit more level over here. And then our hope is somewhere in this general vicinity right here will be the big chicken coop. And that will probably anchor one corner of the fence that goes around the entire garden. Again, we'll probably design and build this as we go along, but we have some general ideas and concepts of what we want. And I think it's just exciting for us to not see bushes and trees here anymore and really see what we're actually going to be doing.
What's the size
of the actual garden? I mean, I think when we originally started mapping out what we could fit in here originally, it was about 75 feet by 75 feet. But as you'll see when we kind of walk around, we kind of kept cutting a little bit deeper into this hill going up. And I think it's going to wind up being closer to about maybe 90 by 75, almost 100 by 75. That will ultimately be the fenced area. So, the garden area inside might be a little bit smaller. We'll kind of have to see as we do it. But if you can, we'll just kind of walk around this way and Dina will kind of show you, what we have going on right now, what we're going to be working on. So really, that fence will be somewhere in this area. That coop will kind of anchor the corner over there. And then from here over will basically be the garden. So we need probably about, I'm going to say maybe 40, 50 tons of dirt on this backside here to bring us up to grade. I have a little bit more cutting to do in the front. We'll see how much dirt I actually get from that to pull back into this back area. But Dana and I kind of decided that in order to keep the fence and all the stuff we're doing level, it would be easier that if we could grade this out nice and flat. We didn't want to tear off the land at all, and we really just wanted to make it as flat as possible so that when we're doing garden beds and any type of structures in here, we're sort of not working against the slope of the grade. And I mean, we'll do that anyway, but we'll just kind of see how it works out. About the size of this rock, man. So it took me a little while to actually get this rock set in place. And actually, now that it's here, my buddy was over the other day and he recommended actually pulling this rock out, going back just past that sapling up there and basically grading the property back down into this flat area so that we really wouldn't have to worry about retaining any of the dirt.
I say keep it and put some cave drawings on it.
But in order for Dana and I to basically work on this portion right here, we had to take care of the tree that was kind of hanging over in this section, which is what you guys already saw. So now that we have most of it bucked up, I'm just going to come back and pick this piece up and move it with the excavator, and that should give me enough room to start basically grading this back in. And that'll give me probably, I don't know, maybe a half a truckload's worth of dirt in order to take into the back over there and dump. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know Dana's kind of showing you a lot of stuff, but when she backs away, I know my vocal gets a little crazy. But we're going to pull a lot of this dirt off back here. We're going to take it into the back corner so it's a little less fill dirt that we maybe need to get delivered. But that's kind of where we are right now. And Dana and I are really excited. I mean, just to start seeing it come to fruition is huge. So maybe we'll end this with just a few shots so that you guys can kind of see the lay of the land again. And like I said, I think Dana and I are going to spend the next few hours cleaning up the rest of this wood that we bucked up yesterday. I doubt you guys want to sit and watch us pick up wood and drive it away with the mule, but that's pretty much what we're going to do. So if I put it in there, great. If not, you know, we'll basically pick up right where we left off today on the next video so that you guys really can kind of see firsthand and in real time, you know, how this area is going to change from this muddy mess into our future garden. All right. So we've conquered a ton, but there is still so much to do. So Dana and I are actually going to get back to work now. As always, stay fly, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.